Hi, this is Majinoni, and here's my review for Loki and Carnage, number ones. These are both miniseries. This is one of 4, and this is one of 5. Now, these are late, but I thought I'd still do them anyways because actually they're both really good titles, and you should definitely look into them. I'll do the Loki one first, since there's a lot of Thor going on in, like a Marvel right now. Well, the Loki title is actually a really good title in that it's pretty much from Loki's point of view, and then you have to wonder how much of it is true and how much is it Loki lying, or is it Loki distorting the truth based on his reality of the situation. Now, the story takes place where Loki kind of goes into an exile, and basically he finds a spot where Odin can't see, due to all natural boundary, like cliffs and waterfalls and etc., etc., etc. Odin's all-seeing eye can't see this one spot. So what Loki does is he basically builds himself a home that only has one entrance. There's no windows. That way nobody can sneak in on him. He fishes with a net that reminds him of a bad memory. And he doesn't even use fire to eat the fish because he doesn't want the smoke to go up to, somehow so Odin would see that, smoke where it shouldn't be. He doesn't even use a campfire because he doesn't want the glow of the fire to catch Odin's eye type thing. Well, all is fine and dandy until one day Odin's wolves see him, and basically he knows something's going to happen, especially since the wolves didn't attack him. So he finally sets himself afire and waits, and that's when Thor finally shows up. Now, from this moment on, you get the tale of Thor and Loki when they were younger, and this is actually the tale of how Thor gets his hammer. And it's really interesting perspective as to Loki's side of things, and it actually raised an interesting point. If you remember, like a lot of other pictures of Thor or the Vikings in Thor, if you remember, especially in the Ultimates actually, the handle part is really, really long. And Thor's hammer is really short. And Loki thinks that during the construction of the hammer, the dwarf accidentally breaks the handle part. And now that hammer is in a sense ruined. And it's like, in a sense, the run to the letter. And Loki identifies himself with that hammer because of that handle. And he believes that hammer belongs to him now. It doesn't really belong to Thor. And it's like an interesting idea that they came up with, concerning that. Now, this is just part 1, so there's going to be a lot more going into his background and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to it. Now, the art I think is really good. I mean, it's nothing spectacular, but I think it fits the story of Loki really well. It doesn't really have to be beautiful and clean, especially since Loki's the god of mischief, he's evil, and I think they do a really good job. The fact that we're seeing Loki like this, basically like a caveman, it's a really, it's like in a sense, pardon the pun in a sense, it's a really stripped down version of him, and I think that overall this is like a really, really standout title. I have a feeling this is going to be one of those titles that nobody's going to read because it's Loki and they're going to get a Thor burnout. But I think, at least based on this first issue, I think it's worth giving it a try. Let's go on to Carnage. Now, I think the art is simply fantastic with Carnage. I would really, really like to see the original pencils on this, because I know that a lot of this is, enhanced with the digital painting and things like that. But I think the penciling is really strong, and I would really, really love to see it, especially any of these pictures with the Carnage spider. Now, basically what's going on here is you have a guy with new technology that he shouldn't have. He'd be able to, basically create. It's basically outside of his league. So Tony Stark is going to investigate that. While that's going on, you have this spider guy swinging through town, and he's got 6 arms. So naturally, Tony Stark goes, "Hey, Peter, how many arms do you have?" And once he figures it out, Peter's on his way to meet Tony. And again, it's like, look at the art. I mean, the muscles here in the arm, it's really, really strong. It's just, everything is, I think, well, in some cases, I think the art is, it's like, kind of like, it's okay. I mean, it's good. Like in here, it's kind of good. But in these types of pictures here, it just stands out and it just shines. Even here, the targeting system for Iron Man, it looks really good. The face here is really good. I mean, this is just okay. That's just okay. But, so there's certain standout panels that just makes me, like, go, wow, and it just makes me want to look at the art even more. Now, as you can imagine, this is the return of Carnage, and this isn't going to be, from my understanding, it's not the Carnage that we think this is going to be. It's going to be somebody different. Which is, like, on one hand, I'm going, do we really need Carnage again? But, hopefully they'll come up with something that's interesting, and we'll see where it goes from there. Overall, I was really, really impressed. Personally, though, I think part of me is blinded by the art more than the story itself. I can easily see myself going, average story, average comic, if it was drawn by somebody else. But this is just a fantastic. I mean, this is just, in a sense, this is eye candy for comic book fans, in a way. So that's why this is a definite standout. Now, depending upon how both of these issues go, progressing the storylines, I'm definitely considering buying these as trades. I'll probably do more reviews on them later, so that way you get an idea of what they're going to be like. But definitely, I would definitely jump on both of these. So if you like the art, just this alone for art, and I think this one as a different perspective on the Loki character. Because usually we don't get too many of those. It's always Thor, 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 Thor. But if you have any comments or questions, just let me know. Subscribe to the channel, rate the video up or down, let me know what you think. And I'll have more reviews coming out soon. So until next time.